All right, time for day two. So I woke up this morning and I saw that day one or part one had 7 views, which is like, yes. I was actually really surprised 'cause I was looking at, the other two videos that I posted and I wasn't expecting much. Like, I'm just kind of putting this out there, like I was saying, and then trying to manifest. But 7 views is a big thing in my mind. So thank you to whoever's watching, even if it's just one person watching it 7 times and just farming views. Like that means a lot to me. So today I don't have like a ton of new stuff. Trying to get better about just judging things in general, but today was like whatever. For some reason, I started feeling pretty tired today, and I think I was just thinking a lot. I thought a lot about the gym and stuff, and I'll talk about that tomorrow because I already have all my topics I want to go over for today. But I don't know what was different about today. It just felt a little off, and I don't think I was as sharp. But I think tomorrow will be better. I think I want to take my meditation a little more seriously. I think I want to go on a hike up Santan again. So see how that is. But the first topic I wanted to talk about was beginning again. This is mentioned a lot in my waking up course by Sam Harris. He talks about, meditating and when those thoughts arise and you start to lose track, just beginning again instead of like getting frustrated and quitting or sparking a thought that gets into another thought and just kind of having a little cascade effect. Just beginning again, just simply reattempting to establish mindfulness and observing the thought, letting it go away instead of having this super extreme reaction to it. And I think that's kind of cool. And I've almost used beginning again in other aspects of my life. Like, I think it has a lot of parallels to, I guess, people who are really guilty or really caught up with their past deeds. It's like there's nothing stopping you from simply beginning again. Obviously, those events are still going to somewhat haunt you or be in your past. There's nothing forcing you to be the person that you were 5 minutes ago. You can always start that new habit. You can always be a better person in the next interaction. You can always just almost forget and just become a new thing. So, but on the topic of just beginning again in meditation, it's pretty cool because I think that kind of builds up patience and builds up resilience. Like, you are going to falter quite a bit. It's going to be tough in the beginning. It's really tough for me right now to maintain focus and everything, but it's just begin again, begin again, begin again. The next one, this one I really like. I don't know how well I'm going to portray it here right now. I think down the road I will talk about it more. But talking about bliss, which is the absence of desire. I think this was mentioned in the Tibetan book of Living and Dying, which I've been reading lately. It's kind of talking about like the opposite of certain emotions. And this was talking about kind of bliss and desire. And I never really realized, but yeah, when you are blissful, when you're just joyous without a care in the world, you truly don't desire anything else. I mean, there are times where you can be happy about something, be like, oh, I wish this would have gone better. I wish I could have gotten this too. But yeah, when you're truly blissful, you don't desire anything more. It's like that thirst is quenched, and that's truly amazing that you're just, the only way I can explain it is you're just like accepting and yeah, just joyous. Like, I think bliss is a truly beautiful emotion to feel, and we feel it so infrequently. But I'm really trying to recognize and appreciate when I do feel it now because it's just, oh, it's so warm and nice. Going on from that, one that I'm super interested in is kind of the role of desire because that's a big part, it seems, in Buddhism. And I've been kind of pondering it a lot lately because as human beings, we have desires. We're always going to have desires. They are often what motivate us to, I think they're what motivate us to do everything. There are some very like unhealthy desires, and then there are healthy desires. And I know I was talking to my friend this morning about it. A lot of people see desire as simply a motivator. It's like, I want to get rich, so I'm motivating myself to be better at making money. I'm motivating myself to be learning and always working hard and all this stuff. It's in the eye of the beholder. One person's kind of the same idea. One person can have a desire for themselves that they think is good, and someone else can think that desire is for evil. So let's say you desire to win a war, then that might cause you to do things that hurt other people. But because in your eyes, the ends justify the means, then you don't see it as evil. This is a really complex aspect of desire. I think most desires do end up in poor decisions being made. And I think I'm at the point where abolishing almost as many desires as I can will lead to the best life that I can live. Thinking about it, like the only desire that truly does sit well with me and seems to serve me is the desire for other people to be happy. Like even now when I'm like, okay, I desire to love myself, that's all based on ego. Like a lot of these desires are egocentric, and serving your ego isn't going to do anything. That's not helping anyone. That's really not even making you happy. It's making you happy for a temporary period of time, and then it wants more. So I feel like, I don't know, like desire just, it seems like almost a net negative. Like obviously we need it. We're humans. It's what makes us human, but it really seems like something that needs to be thought about, before you make actions or before you set desires. Is this desire going to cause me to do things that maybe I'm not okay with? Like you have to think about the kind of the ramifications of that too. And then a desire is just like any other emotion in my eyes. You can sit and you can let it pass, or you can feed it and it's going to grow and cause you to do more like irrational and outlandish things to fulfill that desire. I think the common phrase that I've heard is like desire is the root of all suffering. And on top of that too, if you can limit your desires, you can live a very simple and unproblematic lifestyle. Limiting your desires, especially the negative or the self-serving ones, I believe is like a really virtuous and like a really good practice to follow, because then you have more room for other things in your life. The last thing that I wanted to cover in this video was the role of meditation in everyday life. This has kind of been mentioned in both the book I'm reading and Waking Up, kind of like how meditation improves your daily life and how it carries over and stuff like that. So, my understanding of it is, one, you're accepting to be bored, or like you're accepting to kind of just stop, which does help you, stop and be more mindful. It kind of like removes you from your head a little bit. It conditions your brain to slow down and to live things more like fully and more candidly. And then like one thing that I literally just heard in my Waking Up bonus stuff for today was uh, meditation is essentially, it's training your brain to experience things before concepts. So a lot of times as humans, the basis of our like judgments of things is based on a comparison to something else. So I don't know, let's say you see a movie, let's say there's like sequels, you watch like Harry Potter 1 and Harry Potter 2. Like when you go and watch Harry Potter 1, let's say you haven't read the books, you're like, oh my God, this was amazing. This is what I thought of it, and this and this and this. You're saying all these, new and unique ideas. And then you go and watch Harry Potter 2. And then all you're doing is you're comparing it to the first. Like you're like, oh, I like this part about it. It was better than the first one, but this one wasn't as good as the first one. And like a lot of how we perceive things is comparing it to something else. Whereas if we're able to experience something without immediately comparing it to something else and just truly experience it in its essence on its own without judgment, that makes a lot of things more special because it's just like it's raw and there's no like judgment in our mind. There's no ego clouding our vision of it. So in my mind, like meditation helps you just experience life without that voice in your head being like, oh, this isn't as good as this thing, or this could have been better, or whatever. It just kind of quiets you, and it chills you out, and it helps you pay more attention, which is really good, especially in interactions. Like I've noticed today specifically when I've been talking to some of my clients, I'll be in my head a little bit and then I'll kind of snap to reality and I'll just like look at their face as they're talking. Like I'll just kind of focus on their features and I'll hear and absorb their words better. Like I'm truly listening in my mind. I am a good listener. Because like I'm the one listening and I try to give like little bits of input, but mainly let the other person talk. But I feel like a lot of time it's like fake listening. Like I'm kind of processing it, but I'm not really hanging on the words and I'm not really thinking about like the meaning of what they're saying, or I'm just not really there. But today there were multiple occasions where I was like, this person is saying something that they're excited about. It's important to them. I want to feel empathy with them. I want to be able to give a good response and I want to truly experience it with them. So I would kind of enhance my focus and be like, okay, lock in, like be in this conversation. I would almost snap to reality and like begin that mindfulness process. So that was pretty cool. And I think meditation really just helps us get out of our head and experience life instead of trying to predict the future, or trying to ruminate on the past, all this stuff. So yeah, I think meditation every single day kind of prepares you for that. And it has so many other benefits too, like lowering stress and enlightenment and the egolessness and all this stuff. But I think in everyday life, it's almost like enhancing our experience. Like this whole time we've been living in like a black and white, like drab, like, oh, it's so sad, like letting our emotions control our days. But it's like now that I can kind of just experience it without that judgment and that comparison to past things, it's like a whole new world. It's like every single day is a new day. Like I get to experience stuff. So it's pretty awesome. I want to change up my life going forward because I think I'm going to make some pretty solid changes that will lead to me becoming better, I guess, like, yeah, better as a person, more capable to help people, which is truly what it's making me realize is like that's the whole point of this. That's the whole point of this experience on earth, is just see other people happy and just experience things with them, because that's why we're a whole culture. That's why we're humanity. That's why it's not one singular human. It's to experience the connections with others. So talk about that tomorrow. Thank you for the 7 views again, and I will catch you tomorrow. Peace out.